created a spreadsheet that will help us solve the problem we looked at the other day. We're going to add up all of the natural digits. So first, I made a column with the numbers from 1 to 100. It may look like I spent a large amount of time keyboarding, but I didn't. The first thing I needed to do is stretch the column. Notice column A's width. I'm hovering over top of the column label A, and as I go in between two columns, I get this mouse pointer. It's a double-headed arrow. I simply took it and I can drag to make it bigger. I can also place my mouse and hover over top of the column dividers and double click, and it'll do something called best fit. When I was done, I'm going to fill this down. I'm scrolling back up. I created a pattern of numbers. Notice how I'm selecting the numbers 1 and 2. I would like to make a pattern that gets larger by ones. So I've created the pattern. I fill down, and here I am going to stop when I get to 100. I'm now scrolling up to the top, and let's review. First, I had to select the column. The only way to select the column is to put my mouse pointer on top of the column heading. In this particular case, it's column A. Then I moved my mouse pointer in between the two columns A and B to get the double-headed arrow, and I held my mouse down and moved to the left and the right, or I can just put my mouse pointer there, make sure I get the double-headed arrow, and double-click. Next, I created a pattern. I created the patterns getting bigger by ones. I selected both numbers, and I looked in the bottom right-hand corner for what we call the fill handle. It's this tiny little square. When I put my mouse pointer over top, I was able to drag down and complete the pattern. Here, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take the numbers 200 and 199. I've created a pattern here that will decrease by 1. In order to create this column, again, I selected the column heading B. I stretched it out. I keyed in the information, the label. Then I created a pattern, getting smaller by ones. This time, there's a magic trick. I can find the fill handle in the corner, bottom right. It looks like it's called a crosshair, but it looks like a plus sign, and pull. Or because I have the column to the left filled down, I can simply just hover over top and double click, and it will fill in that pattern. Next, I put in a formula. So notice here how easy it is to come between two columns and stretch. And the formula that I put in, notice there's a formula bar up here. It says A2 plus B2. Let me show you how I put that formula in. I typed in an equal sign, which means I'm going to be using coordinates and creating a formula. And then I simply, instead of typing in A2, when I select that with my mouse, the coordinates A, column A, row 2 pop in. Then I held down my shift, put in my plus sign, and selected here. Now the remarkable thing about a spreadsheet is that it is going to actually anticipate the next formula. So when I double click, it's actually realigning itself and creating a formula for the next row. If I want to find out what the total is, I can use the AutoSum feature. I'll show you how easy that is. I can type in equals sum, And as I'm looking, I can double click and choose some from the pull down list, which will put in a parenthesis. The directions need to go in parentheses, and then I can select with my mouse and hit enter. An easier way is to hit auto sum, and it will automatically guess the range. If you want, you can reselect and make it perfect, not adding any extra cells. And when we hit enter, we have the total.